What's up, guys? It's me on. I'm back for another video. Oh my god, that was amazing! The ending to that race, holy shit! We went from Reddick leading to Chastain, Reddick, and Allmendinger coming three wide out of turn one. Reddick ends up falling a bit back, so it's Allmendinger and fucking Chastain. Chastain has the lead coming to the last lap. Allmendinger hunts him down. Bowman's behind them all. Allmendinger moves Reddick Chastain out of the way. Bowman's like, okay, if these two are gonna fight each other, I'm gonna fucking steal this win, let Kyle Busch say whatever he wants to say, whatever. And it almost looked like he would, literally. The Allmendinger moving Chastain allowed Bowman to catch up, and Bowman had the lead for the hottest of seconds. And then Chastain moves Allmendinger. Sends him into Bowman. Bowman keeps it going. Allmendinger spins out, and Chastain wins the fucking race, getting Trackhouse their first win and his first win in the process. You started the day. Daniel Suarez on the front row takes the lead, leads every lap in stage one, wins the stage, and you finish it with a W for Ross Chastain. You cannot make this shit up. Congratulations, Ross Chastain. What a finish. Look, if you're an Allmendinger fan, even if you're a Bowman fan, you're probably gonna be mad. I'm not mad at all because I'm happy for Chastain. I was I literally said it before the restart. I'm like, somehow Bowman's gonna fucking win this thing. Somehow. He almost did. And I would not have been mad if he did, because it would have just meant y'all would have been salty. But I am so happy Chastain won because he fucking deserved it. After what happened to Suarez to open the second stage, and we'll get into all of that shortly, but after what happened, with the cut tire and getting spun out, having to limp it back around and all that shit, which, by the way, it looked like he was going to recover for a top 10, top 15 finish. He pitted on the previous caution, so he finished a 24th. No big, he also had power steering issues too. But, give credit where credit's due. Chastain's been due for a win for a while. Legitimately, he ran really well here last year in the rain. Somehow, some way, he was gonna fucking win a race at some point. He's come close. Go back to fucking Phoenix when Briscoe won. Chastain almost won that thing. He gets it done today. And I was also rooting for Reddick towards the end because I'm like, if Reddick fucking steals this, I would have gotten a preseason win prediction right. Because I picked Reddick to win COTA. Didn't happen, is what it is. But once again, congratulations, Ross Chastain, on the big win. That is awesome. And again, if you're an Allmendinger fan and you're pissed off, I'm going to leave you with these words. AJ moved him first. Fair game. But with that said, let's go ahead and let's get into the rest of this race. Because a lot happened. So as I said, Daniel Suarez would start on the front row. Ryan Blaney won the pole. Loris Hezmans, due to an engine change back at Daytona, I would explain that rule, but I don't have the explanation off the top of my head. Boris said, Josh Bilicki, Joey Hand, AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, all for unapproved adjustments, and Andy Lowry for failing tech 3 times, would all start at the back. And The Undertaker got to drive the pace car 1 week before his Hall of Fame induction and WrestleMania 38. Of course, you love to see it. Loris Hezmans cuts the course through the S's on lap 2, pass through penalty. Same thing for Boris said. He serves it on the next lap. Briscoe reported that his shifter was getting stuck in the downshifts, while Kyle Busch reports he has no drive or brakes. Elliott reports that his car is running hot. His team tells him to cool it down when he can. Same thing for Byron, same thing for Larson. Kyle Busch goes for a spin in turn 12, but he keeps going. Got a little help from Chase Elliott, so yeah, that might come back to bite him later, but we'll see. A few cars pit, coming to 3 to go, mostly the Toyotas, along with Almirola, Austin Dillon, and AJ Allmendinger, among others. A couple of cars pit, coming to 2 to go, including Cindric, Reddick, Chastain, and Custer. Austin Dillon got an uncontrolled tire penalty. Todd Gilliland got an equipment violation penalty. They would go to the back to start stage 2. Daniel Suarez takes the stage 1 victory. Blaney second, Bowman third, Logano fourth, Larson fifth, Justin Haley in sixth, Chase Elliott seventh, Chase Briscoe eighth, Harrison Burton ninth, and Austin Cindric in 10th. And as I mentioned before, Suarez, he goes from winning the stage to going for a spin off turn one and having a left rear tire down. Hard to tell who he got hit by, but it sucked because he had to limp the car all the way back around. It's like a 3-mile road course, and that's another thing we'll talk about momentarily. But he had to limp it back around. He did manage to get down there, and it looked like he got hit by Corey LaJoie after the replay. Larson goes for a spin a couple of corners later. Suarez does make his pit road, but he has to back up in his pit. But because the track is so big, he doesn't end up losing a lap, which is big. Custer and Allmendinger make a bit of contact at one point. Michael McDowell gets the same penalty for cutting the course as we saw from earlier. Andy Lally would go to the garage. And it was reported through Twitter. His day was done due to suspension issues. Reportedly, Brad Keselowski spun into him towards the back of the pack, and he got hit. Shit happens. Loris Hesmond and Cody Ware both get penalized for cutting the S's. One was like right behind the other. Loris for the second time. Stenhouse Jr. reports that he has a cylinder going down. Some drivers pit coming to 3 to go. The leaders, Chastain and Cindric, pit coming to 2 to go, along with some others. William Byron would get a speeding penalty here, so he would have to start at the back for stage 3. And then Denny Hamlin takes the stage 1 victory. Kyle Busch second, Joey Logano third, Ryan Blaney fourth, Eric Almirola fifth, Austin Dillon sixth, Harrison Burton seventh, Ross Chastain eighth, Austin Cindric ninth, and Bubba Wallace in 10th. Shout out Harrison Burton for getting stage points in both stages. He really was not talked about throughout the race, like at all. But he snuck some stage points out on the day, so that's good. Excuse me. Blaney and Logano would stay out here. Ty Dillon got a penalty for improper fueling. Stenhouse would pit again, reportedly having an issue with a bad plug wire. Logano, big issues going into the first turn. He goes wide and hands the lead over to Ross Chastain. And pretty much for the rest of the race from this point, it was Ross Chastain in the lead for like a lot of it. Joey Hand goes for a spin but keeps going, as does Austin Cindric. Cindric looked like he may have gotten help from Reddick, but after a replay, he was not touched by Reddick. He came off the corner, hitting the curb, and basically just spun out and damn near rear-ended Christopher Bell in the left rear. Like, you could probably maybe put a couple stacks of paper between the back end of Cindric's car and the left rear quarter panel of Bella's car, because holy fuck, that was close. And then we get a caution for debris literally right afterward. Stenhouse Jr., speeding penalty. We get going again. Denny Hamlin reports a steering issue. Christopher Bell would come down pit road with a steering issue of his own. The team would look under the hood. LaJoie and Todd Gilliland would make contact. LaJoie would head down pit road and subsequently get a speeding penalty as a result. Bell would make it back out, but then come back down to pit road. And then caution would come out for Eric Jones. He's lost power in his car and stopped on the backstretch. He would actually recover to get a pretty good finish out of the day, though, so that's nice. LaJoie gets another speeding penalty this time while serving his penalty. Would have been a stop and go, but because of the restart, he'll just start at the back like normal. Kurt Busch would have to back up in his pit box, so he had a little bit of a miscue there. Cindric doesn't take tires on his stop, and Brad Keselowski gets a penalty for pitting outside the box. Suarez at this point reported he had no power steering, which fucking sucks. Joey Logano goes for a spin, but he keeps going, and then we get a caution for Bubba Wallace. He loses a wheel. He's unfortunately done for the day. And he tweeted out, "All you can do is laugh." So yeah, that means his crew chief and 2 other crew members will probably be suspended for the next 4 races, as that is the penalty. Sucks because it adds more bad luck to Bubba Wallace, but he still had a decent start to the season regardless, so that's at least a plus. We'll have to see how he does on the next two races, both of which being short tracks, Richmond and Martinsville. We get going again. Ty Dillon goes for a spin in turn 11, but he keeps going. Some drivers would pit here: Custer, Harvick, Almirola, Bell among them. And then a caution would come out for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now, some people will point out NASCAR didn't throw the caution out fast enough, and you'd be right in that sentiment, because they should have thrown it sooner, because it looked like Stenhouse Jr., he was not going to make it back. He stalled on the racetrack. broke his drive shaft, so he was fucked. There was no way in hell he was going to get back to pit road, so I don't know how you don't throw the caution sooner there. But anyway, we get the restart going. Chase Briscoe completely misses one of the S's, and that would be a penalty, though NASCAR reviewed it, and then under the next caution, which came out for fluid on the front stretch later in the lap, as Corey LaJoie was also having issues with his car, and before that, Cindric and Gralla both went for a spin, and LaJoie managed to dodge Gralla in the process. But under that caution, NASCAR ruled that the penalty would be rescinded because Briscoe had been knocked off track by AJ Allmendinger entering the S's, and he lost positions in the process. So there's nothing he could have done there. Now you're probably wondering, well, why didn't NASCAR review and overturn the penalty back at the Indianapolis road course? I don't got the answer for you. Shit happens. But anyway, he would end up pitting anyway, along with some others, so it is what it is, I guess. But anyway, we get going again. Cole Custer goes for a spin in the grass. He gets it back going. Denny Hamlin goes for a spin, but he gets it going, and he's got a flat. Eric Almirola goes for a spin, as does Joey Hand. Joey Hand was still on the racetrack. Almirola went for a spin. Kaz Gralla goes for a spin. And keep in mind, the track's so big that, this is all happening within one fucking lap. Unfortunately, Joey Hand's day was done, as were Stenhouse and LaJoie. Lawrence Hesmans goes off track after a spin, and he can't get going. So caution would come out with 6 laps to go. We get going again with about 3 or 4 laps to go. And Joey Logano, he would bring out the next caution. Got some help from Kyle Larson and Kurt Busch. Basically what happened was, I don't know who's, I think it's Kurt Busch's front end camera you're looking from, but basically him, Logano, and Larson, and I don't know how the hell Suarez didn't go with them, but Logano, Larson, and Kurt Busch I think Logano partly because, or Kyle Larson partly because of Logano, all went off track through turn 1, and Larson hit the inside wall. It's hard to tell otherwise because you have all the dust and rocks getting kicked up, and the front camera on the front of Kurt's car gets absolutely destroyed. But yeah, and also Logano, the back end of his car was fucked. They were able to fix under caution though, so that's a plus. But still, anyway, so this would end up being the final restart, and it, through turn 1, it started with Calamity, and it would finish with Calamity. So we go through turn 1. Reddick had taken the lead prior to the caution, so that's why he was out in front. He was first, Chastain second, Allmendinger third. Allmendinger said over the radio, he felt like, it was time to turn somebody because he was sick and tired of getting, pushed into the grass or whatever. Well, here we go. So all 3 of these drivers come 3 wide off turn 1, or out of turn 1, I should say. And Chastain ended up being the one to come out in front, even with a little bit of beating and banging and whatnot. Ross would take the white flag. Kyle Busch would go for a spin, the process, but they'd keep going. And it's on this final lap where chaos fucking ensues. So essentially what happened was Allmendinger moved Chastain in one of the corners, and as I said earlier, this allowed Alex Bowman to catch up because he had passed Reddick for third, and he's sitting in third just biding his time at this point. Kind of like Zane Smith from the truck race, which is ironic because, you know what happened. But anyway, so that happened, and because Chastain got moved by Allmendinger, and then Chastain got back to Allmendinger, Bowman was able to come up, through some of the corners, and actually took the lead for about the hottest of seconds, and then going into, I think, turn 18 or 19, Chastain says, "Fuck you, AJ Allmendinger." He gets into him, turns him into Bowman. Like I said before, Bowman kept going. Allmendinger spun out, and Chastain obviously kept going. Chastain in the lead, and Chastain takes home, I shouldn't say steals, that would have been Bowman, but he takes home the victory at Circuit of the Americas. You absolutely love to fucking see it. Again, AJ Allmendinger moved him first, Chastain got him back. I mean, it's not to mention the fact that, Bowman's there. he damn near could have fucking stole the win like he's done so many times, and I would have laughed my ass off if he did, because, you know, Bowman fan and all that. But, once again, like I said, congratulations to Ross Chastain. Big victory, big dub. And with all that said, let me know your thoughts down below. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to use code ANJJ for free shipping on orders to $20 or more at Strictly Diecast. Always make sure to like, subscribe, and use the link down below to Steve Lavender's Random Fantasy Picks for those of you who have Twitter. I will catch you all next time. Peace.